Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Purpose Driven Life Sports, and I'm back here for another NBA video. So last night, I watched the Blazers and Nuggets game. This was actually a very tight contest. It was a very low-scoring game. It was, I think it was more predicated on defense and rebounding, even though Portland got rebounded heavily in the fourth quarter alone. So that might not tell the whole story, but it was more of defense. A lot of bad shooting on both sides. Damian Lillard only had 14 points. He shot 5 of 17 from the field. So that does tell a big story as well. Nikola Jokic didn't have a big game either. So to me, the two big stars in the game, Damian Lillard and Nikola Jokic, didn't have good games. They both had about 14 points. It was the score was 97-90. Portland won. So one thing I will say is that, Portland, I think, needed to see if their bench could come in the game and then score. In the first half, it was Enes Kanter who had 13 points, so he ended up finishing with 15. He wasn't big in scoring in the second half, but in the first half, he had 13.6 rebounds. You had Rodney Hood, who had 8 points. I think he needed to come off the bench and score, and that's what he really did. So that really helped his confidence, I think, going forward. And now that the series is shifting to Portland for the next two games, it's going to be helpful for them. And then Denver, I'm not really sure. This game was weird, and the reason why I say it was weird is because I expected this game to be another up and down game where it was high scoring. So I'm kind of lost for words, and it's kind of funny because I totally did not expect what I saw last night. And the fact that Denver shot so poorly, the fact they only had 35 points at halftime. Now, like I said yesterday, Portland's not a great defensive team, and neither is Denver, even though Denver's number one in opponents' three-point shooting percentage. I expect more from Denver. That's why I'm disappointed. They did come out and score 65, I think, in the second half, so I'm not going to dog them too much. I think it was 55 in the second half. In the fourth quarter, though, they did out-rebound Portland. I think it was 25 rebounds to 4 rebounds. So that part, that's not a good look for Portland. They have to shore up their boxing out. There was many times when guys would come in from the other corner and just simply grab the ball and get an offensive rebound. There was one instance where there was 5 offensive rebounds, 5 tip-in attempts on one possession. So Portland definitely needs to shore up that rebounding. That's where Enes Kanter has to hold down the middle in the paint, is what I said yesterday. Him having at least 14 rebounds to me is good because that means he's really securing the boards and boxing out. So it wasn't a big rebounding day for him. He only had 9 rebounds. If Damian Lillard has another game like this, I don't think that's good for Portland. And the reason why I don't think so is because they need his scoring, to me, to draw the defense out to be on the three-point line and for him to get open looks at the rim. And he was missing threes. He was missing layups. He turned the ball over a lot last night as well. The only reason to me why they didn't lose is because CJ McCollum had 8 points in the fourth quarter. He was doing his thing. He had 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. So he wasn't very efficient either. He shot 8 of 20 from the field, but it was different guys who were able to help them get the job done. Maurice Harkless and Al-Farouq Aminu, like I said, need to have a big game. They stepped up. Now, Maurice Harkless did have a sprained ankle. He did roll his ankle, but I think he'll be fine. 2 days in between games is good, so, for recovery time. For Denver, what they have to do is, I think they just have to keep running and gunning, which is their style. They have a deeper bench than Portland does. They have more guys who can come off the bench and make a big impact. So I'm not too worried about Denver unless they're missing 3-point shots. And if that's happening to Denver, then a lot of what happens is they become ineffective because they're not a team that is dominant in the paint per se. So even though Nikola Jokic has moves for days, he can go here, he can go here. He's got a good spin move. He's got a good jump shot. So he's their anchor. He's basically their point guard besides Jamal Murray. He's the guy who sets up the offense. They run their team through him. So I think it's up to him to really kind of establish a tempo that they're going to run. And if they do that in Game 3 against Portland, you never know, but I'm still picking Portland to win this series. Like I said, for Portland's bench to come out and do what they did and then score, it was like, 32 points for their team. That was big for them. That was a good confidence boost. And your bench always plays better at home than on the road. Usually on the road, your starters have to play more minutes. They're more accustomed to playing big minutes on the road. The bench usually struggles shooting, even though they sub different. Each bench is different on the road. I'll just say that. But thank you guys for listening to this video. I had fun watching the game last night. It was fun. It was not what I expected. A lot of games in the second round have been tight, I would say. You even saw the 76ers and Raptors game. It was a tight game. It was 94-89 in game 2. So I think what you're seeing is a lot of defenses in the second round are very elite. Golden State is. The Rockets defense is elite. Raptors and 76ers have an elite defense. So now I'm not really surprised by this. You even have Milwaukee and Boston have elite defense as well. So what we're seeing is great defensive teams, just coming out and establishing, how the game is going to be played tempo-wise. So that's what I think is going on right now. That's my take on why we're seeing a lot of low-scoring games in the playoffs this year. So once again, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next video.